The Ultimate Escape in the Afterlife, Part 2. Long excerpt about the NPC Syndrome. The NPC Syndrome, the role of the non-player character, companion, influencer, or false entropic guide. The NPC Syndrome, non-player character, companions, influencers, or false entropic guides, and victims of torture and endless trauma are the key to a non-tipping of any non-existent and impossible critical mass. These non-player characters who clearly play with our nerves are present at all levels of our lives and incarnations, relatives, companions, work colleagues or bosses, little Nazi capos on the ground, parents or children, ascendants or descendants, motivational or demotivational coaches, armed temple guardians or political usurpers, vigilants or fake and inverted political correctness, media speaking or spokespersons of our daily lives on every street corner, censors of diverted natural health or of food or a real devalued spirituality. They block our direct access to consciousness and to the slightest concrete hope of liberation from this prison planet. Their mode of operation is not only observable to the naked eye, but also documented and scientifically evaluated, despite the totally absurd and negative connotation that the word science has been evoking in our minds since the 2020 smokescreen, the warhorse of lobbies with evil power. Here's a very precise description of the role and content of NPCs. Interacting with a mass of NPCs, how to move forward.
Some people you interact with every day might not be real, not in the way you think. They look human, they speak, they react, they follow routines. But beneath the surface, something is missing. You've felt it before. That strange emptiness in their eyes, the robotic way they repeat mainstream narratives, the complete inability to question reality. It's as if they're running on a script, responding predictably, never showing true independent thought. Philosophers, neuroscientists, and researchers have explored this for centuries. The idea that not all human beings operate at the same level of consciousness. Some function purely on autopilot, following conditioned behaviors without introspection, self-awareness, or even an inner monologue. If that's true, then what does it say about the world we live in? More importantly, what does it say about you? The evidence is everywhere. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And by the end of this video, you might never look at people the same way again. Most people assume that consciousness is universal, that if someone is walking, talking, and responding to the world, they must be fully aware of themselves and their actions. But what if that assumption is wrong? What if in reality, a large percentage of the population is operating on something closer to autopilot, reacting instead of thinking, repeating instead of questioning? This isn't just some internet meme about NPCs. It's an idea that has been explored for centuries by some of the greatest thinkers in history. Plato warned about this in his allegory of the cave. He described people trapped in a world of shadows, mistaking illusions for reality, unaware that a greater truth existed beyond their limited perception. They never even questioned what they saw. They simply reacted. Gurdjieff, a mystic and philosopher, took it further, claiming that most humans live in a state of waking sleep, carrying out their lives mechanically, controlled by impulses rather than conscious thought. In his words, man is a machine. Everything with him happens. The brain relies on pre-programmed responses, shaped by past experiences, social conditioning, and external influences. You might think you're making a conscious choice, but in reality, your brain is following a pattern, one that was set long before you ever realized it. This is why some people never question their beliefs. They simply absorb what they're told, whether it's from the media, the government, or their peers. They don't analyze, they don't reflect, And they certainly don't challenge the system. They exist within it, playing their role exactly as they were conditioned to, just like an NPC in a video game. You've probably encountered these people before. Maybe you've tried discussing a complex idea with them only to get the same canned responses, as if they're running a script. They're not engaging in real thought. They're repeating what they've been told to believe. And here's the unsettling part. If so many people are operating on unconscious patterns, then how many are actually self-aware? How many are truly awake? Some questions can't be asked openly. Some truths can't be spoken here. Beings that behave exactly like conscious humans, but have no inner experience. Imagine someone who laughs, cries, and speaks about their feelings. But inside, there's nothing. No self-awareness, no internal experience, just programmed reactions. Think about the implications of this. If P-zombies could theoretically exist, the simulation hypothesis, popularized by Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom, suggests that if it's possible for a civilization to create highly advanced simulations of conscious beings, then it's overwhelmingly likely that we already exist within one. In other words, what we perceive as real life may actually be a programmed environment, designed for a purpose we don't yet understand. And here's where things get even more unsettling. If this world operates like a simulation, then it would make perfect sense that not every character in it is fully conscious. In video games, not all entities are equally complex. Some are just NPCs, non-playable characters, programmed to react, but never to act with true independence. Their purpose isn't to think, it's to fill space, maintain the illusion of a living world, and follow predetermined scripts. But because control thrives on compliance, not critical thinking. From birth, you're taught how to behave, what to believe, and what to desire. The education system doesn't teach you how to think. It teaches you what to think. Schools aren't designed to create independent, free-thinking individuals. They exist to manufacture workers, people who will sit down, follow instructions, and never question the system they were born into. The bell rings, you move. The teacher speaks, you listen. Your grades don't measure intelligence, they measure how well you comply. The media does the same thing. It gives you pre-packaged opinions, perfectly designed so you don't have to think for yourself. It tells you who to trust, who to hate, what to fear. It gives you an enemy, so you don't question the real power structures controlling your life. It distracts you with celebrity gossip, political theater, and consumer culture, while the real decisions about the future of the world are made behind closed doors. And social conditioning runs even deeper than that. Society rewards those who follow the script and punishes those who don't. Step outside the accepted narrative and you'll notice something. Suddenly, you're the crazy one. You're the outcast. Try questioning mainstream beliefs in public and watch how quickly people shut down, repeat talking points, and label you as dangerous or irrational. Why? Because their identity is built on the illusion of certainty. They don't think about what they believe. They defend the beliefs they were given. To them, independent thought is terrifying because it threatens the comfort of the program they've been running their entire lives, and that's exactly how the system wants it. It doesn't need people thinking critically. It needs them docile, distracted, and emotionally reactive. It needs them addicted to their own outrage so they never step back and ask, who benefits from my anger? Who profits from my division? Who gains power when I obey without questioning? And here's the most important part. Most people will never ask these questions. They aren't supposed to. They were never designed to. They were programmed for predictability, not for introspection. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you're asking these questions, if you're seeing through the illusion, you are already different. You are already awake in a world where most are sleepwalking. But waking up isn't enough, because the system is still running. The program is still in place. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? You can't tell an NPC that they're an NPC. Their programming won't allow them to accept it. The only thing you can do is recognize them for what they are and decide how to interact with them. Do you engage? Do you walk away? Do you use them as a reflection of what happens when you stop questioning, stop growing, stop thinking for yourself? Because in the end, the real question isn't about them, it's about you. If NPCs exist, and they do, then what does that say about the way you live? Are you thinking for yourself? Or are you just a more advanced version of the same script? Because if you're not careful, you might be running on autopilot without even realizing it. It's easy to point fingers, to look at the world and recognize the predictable, programmed responses in others. But the real question is one most people are too afraid to ask. What if I'm the NPC? It's uncomfortable. No one wants to believe they're sleepwalking through life, repeating the same cycles, living on autopilot. But the truth is, most people are. And if you've never questioned it, if you've never seriously analyzed your own programming, then you might still be running on scripts without even realizing it. The first step to breaking free is brutal honesty. But the deeper truth is this: every system in the world is built to keep you asleep. Everything around you was structured to turn you into an NPC, whether you realize it or not. The reason so many people seem trapped in loops is because the system built those loops for them. And if you're not actively breaking out of it, then you are, by default, being pulled back in. So what do you do now? You disconnect from the programming, you stop playing their game, you stop reacting the way they want you to, you stop feeding the distractions, the outrage, the cycles designed to keep your mind preoccupied, while the real decisions about your life are made without you. Instead, you take control. You become intentional with your time, your thoughts, your actions. You create instead of just consuming. You analyze instead of just reacting. You move differently than the rest of the world because you understand something they don't. Most people will never wake up, but you can. The choice is in your hands. Stay asleep or break free.